Let's talk a little bit about the idea and the implementation of global elements. I'm going to create a new schema here. So I'll just start from a blank schema. And I want to demonstrate first the idea. And I'll just blast through this. I don't really need a namespace in it. I'll blast through I'll cover the idea of what a global element is and how you make use of them. So this will be from a very practical standpoint. So first of all, a global element is a child of schema. So when I say the only choice I have right now, for example, of adding a new element is a new global element. And I'm just going to call that info base. And of course, I'm using that as a catch-all phrase. I would probably have a more specific root tag that I would want to use for my instances. So now under info base, I'm going to have two children under a sequence. And as you've heard me say before, use a sequence unless there's a specific reason to use a choice. And the first one is going to be book. And the second one is going to be a movie. Oops. Okay, so first question is, why wouldn't I make book and movie global? The reason I wouldn't make book and movie global, like info base is global. I wouldn't make book and movie global because I don't want them to be, I'm not going to use those names anywhere else. If, for example, I want there to be more than one book in the instance, not more than one book element in the schema, then I would take book and I would say, for example, book can be unbounded. That means I can have as many books as I want in the instance, but it doesn't mean that the book tag is reused in the schema. If I had the word book somewhere else in my schema, then that would be then I would need to reuse it. Okay, so now I want to say something like books have children, and again I'm going to have a sequence. Books have titles, and books have descriptions. D-S-C-R-I-P-T-O-N. And furthermore, description is a choice. Now I do want choice here, and it's an unbounded choice. Oops, not optional. It's an unbounded choice of, actually let me keep it simple here. Let me not cover that part right now, so I'm going to just cover this. I can change this. If I double click on that, I can change it from a choice to a sequence. So I want, we're going to forget about the choice part right now. I'm going to keep it much simpler than that. So a description has one or more, and I'm going to get rid of that. Back up. Okay. A choice is a sequence of one or more paragraphs, and I'll just call that P. Now once again, I want there to be one or more paragraphs. That means as many paragraph tags in the instance as you want, and at least one, so I'll make that paragraph tag unbounded. And let's see. Well, let's just keep it like this for now. Okay, so I have a book has a title and a description, and then I realize, hey, you know what? Movies also have titles and description. I want to reuse this title tag somewhere else. So I'm going to make this title tag global. I can right click on it and I can say extract global element. And now notice two things happened. I get a title over here, and I get a little arrow over here that says that the title is global. So now what I've done is I've said, yes, I want title to be global. I want the same title element to be reused multiple times inside the schema. So now if I add a sequence here to the movie, I can add, when I say append child element, it'll give me a choice of the global elements, and I can say title. And it says, do I want to use a global? Yes, I want it to be global. And now I have that same title element under the book as is under the movie. So I could do the same thing with description. I realized that the book needs a description as well. So I'm going to extract the global element of the description. And now notice the description is a global element as well. Now I have three global elements, the info base, the title, and the description. Now I can go back over here and I can append child element, and now a description is one of those I can choose. I choose a description. Now the description is applied across both of them, as well as the title being applied across both of them. Now, one other thing to understand. The description here has a paragraph under it. The description here also has a paragraph under it. And then the description here has a paragraph under it. That paragraph element is not global. The paragraph element is a child of description. Description is global. Therefore, when I apply the description element to any parent, all of the sub-elements, all the children, all the way down, will also be applied to any of the places where I've applied that global element. So one other thing to show you about globals. Here I am, I have a P, and suppose my description is going to have an intro and then a set of P's. So I'm going to append element. I'm going to call it intro. I'm going to put it before the P because it logically comes before the P. And now I've modified my my description so that it has an intro and a P, and automatically all of my other descriptions are modified. That's the beauty of the global element. Anytime I change the description, anytime I modify the description, add to it, change it around, change the rules on the description, those rules are automatically propagated to every use of the description. Okay, so let me summarize what we've done here. I created some elements to be global and some elements to be local. The only global elements are the ones that appear more than once. Notice title appears here and here, so it needs to be global. Description appears here, and it needs to be global. However, just because paragraph appears here, and intro for that matter, and here, does not mean that it needs to be global, because it's the child of something that's already global. It's the description that's global. It's not the P that's global. The P is just used over and over again inside that description, inside a description that is itself global. Okay, so that should give you some insight into how globals are used, and also if you followed my keystrokes, you should be able to see sort of the ways that you actually make globals happen. Like for example, that extract global right click.